morning, you guys. It's 9:48 in the morning. I need water. Today we are going to be doing something super fun. Well, I think it's fun. You guys know how much I love the queen, Miss Colleen Hoover. I am a huge fan. She's one of my favorite authors at the moment, and I just thought it would be a fun little idea to spend the whole day just reading some of her books. And I have no idea how many books I'll actually be able to read today, but we're going to find out. And I thought I would bring you guys along and have a nice little cozy fall reading vlog. I actually put out some Halloween decorations. I'm not completely done yet because I haven't been feeling all that well these past few days, but I do want to film a like Halloween / fall decor video. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that, and I can definitely film that very soon because I definitely want to buy more Halloween decorations. This is what I have from last year so far. That's not going to stay there, but I'm so excited for Halloween, you guys. I cannot wait. I love Halloween. I love spooky season. I love the fall. It's just vibes. Really excited. I read almost every Colleen Hoover book. I think there's only like 4 or 5 of her books that I haven't read yet, and a couple of them are actually novellas, so I don't really count those, although I do plan to read them eventually. But I pretty much own every Colleen Hoover book out there, which just shows you how much of a fan I am. I do have 2 more books being delivered today. I literally ordered them at like 7 in the morning, so hopefully they come in time. They're supposed to get delivered between 10 and 2 today. If they don't come in time today, I am going to be really upset, but we'll figure something out if they don't. Maybe we'll head to Target or Barnes & Noble, and then I can just return the ones I purchased on Amazon. The first book that I want to read today is Without Merit. I've had this book on my bookshelf, you guys, for literally months. I think I purchased this in the spring and I just never read it. I don't know why. I've just been putting it off. So today I'm finally going to read it and see what it's about. A lot of you guys have given me like mixed reviews on this book. Some people love it, others not so much, so I really don't know what to expect with this one. If you're unfamiliar with this book, let me quickly read the synopsis for you. The Voss family is anything but normal. From the irritatingly perfect older siblings to the little half-brother who isn't allowed to do or eat anything fun. Then there's Merit. She collects trophies she hasn't earned and secrets her family forces her to keep. While browsing the local antique shop for another trophy, she meets Sagan. He's witty and idealistic and sparks renewed life into her, until she learns that he's completely unavailable. Merit retreats deeper into herself, watching her family from the sidelines, when she learns a secret that no trophy in the world can fix. Fed up with the lies, Merit decides to shatter the happy family illusion that she's never been a part of, leaving them behind for good. That sounds pretty good. Again, no idea why it's taking me this long to read it, but we're rectifying that situation today, and I'm going to start off this challenge with this book. My Amazon order is on the way. Oh my god, the dedication. This book is for Cal Hoover. Because I'm your mother and I love you, I sometimes have an overwhelming urge to wrap you in a bubble and protect you from the world. But I also have an overwhelming urge to wrap the world in a bubble and protect it from you. Because you're going to turn it on its head someday. I can't freaking wait. In my heart. I love that. That is so sweet. Colleen Hoover has me tearing up already. Chapter 1. I have an impressive collection of trophies that I did not win. So Merit and Sagan just met for the first time and they kissed. It's not a huge spoiler because it literally happens in the first chapter, but Merit quickly discovers that Sagan is unavailable, and the reason that he's unavailable is crazy. I was not expecting everything to happen in the first chapter. Like, Colleen Hoover always starts off her books with a bang, literally. Merit's family is completely dysfunctional. There are so many things wrong with her family, and it seems like they just like sweeping things under the rug without really acknowledging their problems head on, and that irks me. I'm like the complete opposite. Whenever there's a problem, I confront it right away. There's this unspoken secret going on within the family that no one wants to acknowledge, and it seems like the siblings have all just turned on Merit and just think that that like she's a waste of space. That's what I gather. They are just so rude to her, and then when she throws it right back in their face and is rude back, all of a sudden she's the unreasonable one. And I just don't understand why they're like that. So I'm curious to find out what caused them to drift apart so much, even though they're only a year apart. I feel so bad for Merritt. I just found out all of Merritt's family's secrets. And wow, I feel like there's more to the story. Like, this book is obviously being told by Merritt's POV, so we're not really getting anyone else's side of the story. So obviously what Merritt believes might be a little bit biased. I don't know, I just feel like there's more to the story. There's no way, or maybe I want to believe that there's more to the story, and I'm trying to come up with a reason as to why this family is so dysfunctional. Like, I want to know where everything went wrong, which I guess I know where everything went wrong. I don't know. I'm just so confused. I don't know how to feel about any of the characters. I don't really like anyone. I understand Merritt. I understand why she's the way that she is, especially learning her secret, but I don't understand the rest of her family. I don't understand her twin sister, her brother, her father, her mother. Like, I don't understand how they let themselves become so dysfunctional. Are you kidding me? I'm trying to figure that out, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I definitely think that this book contains a lot of triggers or potential triggers. So if you're thinking about reading this book, definitely look up the triggers beforehand. I always say look up triggers beforehand with any Colleen Hoover book, just because she normally writes about really deep topics that can be very traumatic for certain people. I am 100 pages away from finishing this book, and I didn't even realize it because I've been so invested in the plot. Okay, so I just finished reading Without Merit. It's currently around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So it took me about 5.5 hours to finish this book. And I have to say that I actually really enjoyed it. I definitely don't think it's for everyone. And I think it's marketed as romance, but it definitely isn't a romance book, which is why I think a lot of people don't like it, because they're expecting this epic Colleen Hoover love story. And this one isn't that by any means. This book definitely focuses more on Merritt and her character growth, which I really enjoyed. I will say that halfway through the book, I wasn't sure if I liked any of the characters. I still don't know if I like any of the characters aside from Sagan and the little 4-year-old brother Moby, but I can appreciate each character for what they brought to the story. And this is a really effed up book on so many levels. This family has gone through it, but I definitely think it has a really important message regarding like mental health illnesses such as depression, family dynamics, perspective. What you may think is a fact may not actually be the reality of the situation. We sometimes as humans, we just let our emotions get the best of us and we make assumptions based on those emotions, which is something that happened quite frequently in this book, but I understand why it happened. I enjoyed the writing. It was very addicting. I mean, what Colleen Hoover book isn't addicting? Let's be real. Even though it took me about 5.5 hours to read it, I feel like I read it super fast because I was so captivated by the story and I wanted to find out all the secrets, how Merritt's family were going to fix all their issues. It's a little different compared to her other books. Again, if you're expecting this to be purely romance and are waiting for a love story, this book is going to disappoint you because there is a little romance element to it, but it's like a subplot. Like, it's not the main plot at all. But I enjoyed it. I think I'd give it a 3.5 or maybe a 4-star rating. I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards 4 stars, and I definitely would recommend this book. Just look up the triggers beforehand. I'm kind of mad that it took me this long to read it, but I'm glad that I finally did read it. I'm actually pretty happy because my Amazon package was delivered a few hours ago, so I need to pick up the books that I ordered. I will be having a huge book haul very soon, so definitely keep an eye out for that. But going to head to the package room and pick up some packages and then get right back to reading. I haven't decided what book I want to read next by Colleen Hoover. I'm just going to pick one out of the ones that I ordered and go from there. just got back from picking up all the books that I ordered. Well, the first half of the books that I ordered, because I have another order of books coming in tomorrow. But the 2 books that I picked out specifically for this vlog were All Your Perfects and Maybe Someday, which I've heard terrible reviews about this book and I'm really nervous to start it. I actually think I'm going to start this one next just because I want to get it over with. I don't know if I'll be able to read both today completely, but we're going to try. In case you don't know what Maybe Someday it's about, I'm going to quickly read the synopsis. At 22 years old, Sydney is enjoying a great life. She's in college, working a steady job, in love with her wonderful boyfriend Hunter, and rooming with her best friend Tori. But everything changes when she discovers that Hunter is cheating on her and she's forced to decide what her next move should be. Soon, Sydney finds herself captivated by her mysterious and attractive neighbor, Rich. She can't take her eyes off him or stop listening to the passionate way he plays his guitar. My neighbor must have just got home because her dog is going crazy. And there's something about Sydney that Rich can't ignore either. They soon find themselves needing each other in more ways than one. I think this is a new cover. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's pretty cute. I guess it's like an original soundtrack that Colleen Hoover created with girlfriend Peterson to accompany the book, but I'm too lazy to download it right now, so maybe I'll download it later. The first sentence in this book is, I just punched a girl in the face. Not just any girl. My best friend, my roommate. Every Colleen Hoover book has just the most interesting and dramatic first sentence. I'm 150 pages into this book and I'm kind of bored, which is pretty shocking because you guys know how much I love Colleen Hoover books, but with this one I'm a little bored. I don't really like the 2 main characters. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm only 150 pages in, so I'm not even halfway done with the book yet. I'm almost halfway done, but I'm not really a fan of the characters, and this book is pretty slow. Like, not much has been happening, and obviously Sydney is dealing with the fact that her boyfriend of I think 2 years cheated on her, and she's going through the emotions of being heartbroken. But I'm kind of sick of hearing about it. I don't know if that's mean, but yeah, I'm not really loving this book. You guys, shit just exploded. Like, I'm shocked. No, not really. I saw the explosion building. Like, I knew there was going to be an explosion, and here we are at the part of the book where everything just went to shit. And I'm curious to see how Sydney and Ridge get themselves out of the mess that they're in. My memory card is at 444 right now. Love that. I just finished reading Maybe Someday. I have to say that this is probably my least favorite Colleen Hoover book, if I'm being honest. Overall, I was just bored while reading this book. Like, I didn't really love any of the characters. I feel like they all had some major flaws. And without giving too much away, this book deals with cheating, specifically emotional cheating. And I just can't get behind any type of cheating. Like, to me, cheating is wrong across the board. Whether physically cheating on someone or emotionally cheating on someone, it's still cheating. So I didn't really like that aspect of this book. I did like the fact that Colleen Hoover wrote in a disability for one of her main characters, because I feel like sometimes in books, specifically romance books, the main characters can appear to be super perfect. My cat is playing with a banana in the background if you hear it. And I always appreciate when authors take the time to make characters a little bit more realistic. This one deals with a specific disability that is not represented at all in books, specifically romance books. So I really like that aspect of the book, and I appreciate that. I have like the worst allergies right now. What else did I write down? I wrote down in my notes because I didn't want to forget anything. I also really like that this book is actually dual POV. I feel like if it was only told by Sydney's point of view or Ridge's point of view, I probably would have hated it. But I really like that we got to see both characters' state of mind, see what their thought process was. It wasn't a terrible book. Like, I've seen people rip this book apart, but it definitely isn't my favorite Colleen Hoover book. I feel like she has so many more great books out there. I actually don't know if I would recommend this book because, again, I feel like she has so many other great books out there that I probably would recommend those books over Maybe Someday. But if you are a huge Colleen Hoover fan, if you want to read all her books, then I suggest picking it up. Just because people don't like it doesn't mean that you you won't love it. It just wasn't my cup of tea, if I'm being honest. I also didn't listen to the playlist while reading this, so maybe I didn't get the full experience. So I think I give it like a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I am going to read today is All Your Perfects. This one, I guess, is about a married couple who is struggling in their marriage, and it goes from the past to the present. So you get to see how they met, how they fell in love, and then you go back to the present where their marriage is currently falling apart and they're trying to fall back in love with one another. I have really put off buying this book just because it doesn't seem interesting to me at all, if I'm being honest. It's also fairly short. I think it's only like 300 pages, so I really don't know what to expect, and I hate miscommunication between characters in books. That's like my biggest pet peeve in books and in real life. I feel like I'm going to have a hard time getting through this book. Let's see what this book is given. I'm on chapter 7, page 71. I don't know, so far I feel a little conflicted with the book. I'm not a huge fan of books that go from the past to the present. Like, it has to be done right for me to actually enjoy it. So we were introduced to the two main characters, Graham and Quinn. Their first time meeting one another was very unique. I don't think I've read a book with that kind of first meeting before, so I did enjoy that. And then we're going to the present where I guess Quinn and Graham are married, but their marriage is struggling because Quinn is dealing with infertility. And for me right now, I just wish that she would talk to Graham about it. Like, she's taking the blame completely on herself, and I understand why she feels guilty. This is a subject that's actually close to my heart, so I totally understand her grieving process. Every time she gets her period, like, she cries. Girl, I get it. But I wish that she wouldn't pull away from Graham and would just talk to him about it, because at the end of the day, he's her husband. And even though she says that she doesn't blame him, it seems like she kind of does blame him, or at least takes out her anger and frustration on him because she pushes him away and only uses him for sex on her ovulation days, which is not what should happen in a marriage. And I wish she would just communicate with him and communicate her feelings. And I definitely think she needs like therapy to get through her infertility. Like, she's been trying for, I think, what, 6 or 7 years. So I can totally understand why she's frustrated and why she's angry and why she's depressed. So I wish she would get help and would see a therapist, and that she would just communicate with Graham. I don't like how she's treating Graham right now. I don't know, I'm just conflicted with the main character. I also wish that we were getting Graham's point of view in this book, not just Quinn's. I feel like I would be able to understand their marriage a little bit more if we got his point of view as well. But yeah, I think I'm just going to read a couple more chapters before I call it a night, because like I said, I am getting sleepy, and when I get sleepy and I force myself to read, I get frustrated with characters even more than normal. So I'll probably read for like maybe 20 more minutes or 30 more minutes before calling it a night. I changed my mind. I think I am enjoying the fact that the book goes from the past to the present, because the past is filled with all these happy, lightweight, fun moments, versus the present is filled with more heavy, sad, depressing moments. And as someone who doesn't like reading depressing or books that make me cry, I appreciated that Colleen Hoover wrote this book in this format. At first, I wasn't sure if I liked it, but now I'm convinced that I do like it, and I appreciate the past moments a lot more now that I know the state of Quinn's and Graham's marriage, which makes me really sad that their marriage is falling apart just because both of them are sweeping their problems under the rug and not addressing them head on, which is never the answer. You should always address your problems head on, and communication is key in every marriage. With that being said, I think it's time for bed. Yeah, it's most definitely time for bed. I got to page 112. I'm almost halfway done with the book. Well, not really, but getting there. I don't want to force myself to read this book while I'm sleepy, because then I feel like I won't really enjoy it. as much or give it a chance, a honest chance. I really enjoyed today. It was a very chill reading day. I got to read 2 full Colleen Hoover books and half of one, so 2.5 books, not bad. I mean, all the books that I've read today have been pretty good, except for the second one where I was a little bored, but other than that, I still enjoyed reading it, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. Let me know in the comments below your all-time favorite Colleen Hoover book. For me, it definitely has to be Verity. That's like my all-time favorite. And then after Verity, it's probably Reminders of Him, because that book just broke me. Literally, it broke me. I'm still not over it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my little community here on YouTube. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.